The biggest challenges for constructions, besides finding money?
Getting materials here.
Getting materials?
Remote locations, so everything's got to be flown or brought in on the barge. So planning out far in advance, you know, for deliveries. Some of the labor pool, it's a challenge for some of our trades to get people.
Are they skilled enough?
There has been actually quite a few skilled laborers in town. Carpenters in particular, we've done a lot of local hiring. We're using a lot of sub-trades from either Juneau or Anchorage, so there is access to workers in the state. But there's a few trades where it's harder to get labor here. The phasing has been a challenge, and working with DOT and the museum. You know, we're not just coming in and building one building, we're essentially building two buildings, and in the middle we got a big demo project. So that's a challenge. It's probably our biggest.
Now the exterior ceramic tiles, they're made in Fairbanks, right?
It's actually terracotta.
Oh.
And the panels are being fabricated in Fairbanks, but it's an assembly of materials from all over the country and the world. The terracotta actually came out of Germany, but the panels themselves, it's all a unitized panel system. The panels are fabricated and assembled in Fairbanks. So.
Any issues with the moisture in this, or building in this climate?
Yeah, but we've mitigated a lot of those risks. The basement, there's areas underneath the vault down on the first floor. There's actually about 9 feet of fill underneath that space. They raised the elevation of the building to get us up out of the tidal influence. Basically, in the case of a major flood, you would probably have water down in your parking garage, but everything else, secure collections and the exhibit spaces, that's all up out of the floodplain.
Versus what exists in the current state museum, which you have basically artifacts below the high tide line.
That's right. And then to plan for that too, everything's waterproofed. All the foundations are completely waterproofed. There's epoxy coated rebar up to the first floor to help fight any corrosion. If there was any water intrusion down below. We actually had a challenge with pouring our pits for the elevators. That's the lowest point of the building, and that's within the tidal influence. And so rather than try to pour that concrete in the wet, we actually precast the pits and then did all the waterproofing around it and set it in place so that we weren't building in the water.